It's easy to forget just how many satellites are floating above us right now. Thousands of them, silent, invisible to the naked eye, are zipping around the planet at mind-blowing speeds, beaming signals, capturing images, enabling GPS, broadcasting news, and silently powering much of our modern world. They're our invisible infrastructure, orbiting far above the clouds. But here's a question that most people don't stop to ask. How do they stay up there? How do satellites remain in orbit without crashing down or spinning off into space or smashing into each other like high-speed billiard balls? It turns out the answer isn't magic. It's physics. Pure, elegant, precise physics. And the story of how satellites stay in orbit is really a story about the balance between gravity, motion, and the incredible ingenuity of human engineering. Let's start with the basics. A satellite stays in orbit because of a balance between two forces: gravity, pulling it toward Earth, and its forward velocity trying to carry it away. It's the same reason the moon orbits the Earth. Imagine throwing a ball. If you toss it lightly, it hits the ground quickly. But if you throw it harder, it goes farther before falling. Now imagine throwing it so hard and from so high up that as it falls toward the Earth, the ground itself curves away beneath it. It never actually hits the ground because the Earth is round, and it just keeps falling forever. That's what being in orbit really is, falling without ever landing. This balance is incredibly delicate. If a satellite slows down, gravity wins, and it spirals back down into the atmosphere. If it speeds up too much, it escapes Earth's gravity and flies off into space. So everything depends on maintaining the perfect speed at the perfect altitude, and the required speed is no joke. For a satellite in low Earth orbit, say 300 to 500 kilometers above the surface, it needs to travel at about 28,000 kilometers per hour. That's over 7 kilometers per second. At those speeds, even a tiny piece of debris can be deadly. That's why precision matters. One wrong move and the consequences are catastrophic. There are different types of orbits too. Low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, geostationary orbit. Each has its own purpose, altitude, and orbital speed. Low Earth orbit is great for things like imaging, Earth observation, and the International Space Station. Medium Earth orbit is where GPS satellites live. And geostationary orbit, about 35,786 kilometers above Earth, is special because satellites there orbit at the same rate Earth spins, so they appear to stay in one place in the sky. That's perfect for things like weather satellites and communication networks. But how do satellites get into these orbits in the first place? That's where launch vehicles come in. Rockets carry satellites up into space, but they don't just shoot them straight up and drop them off. Once above the atmosphere, the satellite is positioned and pushed sideways, achieving horizontal velocity, so it begins orbiting. It's not the height that matters most. It's the sideways speed. Once in orbit, satellites aren't just left to drift. They need guidance, control, and occasional adjustments. That's why many satellites are equipped with onboard thrusters, small propulsion systems that allow them to correct their path, rotate their orientation, or raise and lower their altitude. These maneuvers are crucial for staying on track and avoiding danger. Danger in this case comes in several forms. First, there's drag. Even high above the Earth, the atmosphere isn't entirely gone. In low Earth orbit, there's still a faint whisper of atmospheric particles, which slowly pull satellites down. Over months or years, that drag causes satellites to lose altitude. Without corrections, they eventually re-enter the atmosphere and burn up. Then there's the growing problem of space debris. Fragments of old rockets, defunct satellites, and even tiny bolts are all whizzing around the Earth at orbital speeds. A 1-centimeter piece of metal at that speed can destroy a satellite on impact. That's why modern satellites are tracked constantly. Agencies like the U.S. Space Force, ESA, and private companies maintain real-time tracking of tens of thousands of objects in space, predicting potential collisions days in advance. If a collision risk is detected, satellite operators can perform a maneuver called a collision avoidance maneuver, using onboard propulsion to move slightly out of the way, then returning to the original orbit afterward. These moves are planned with high precision to use as little fuel as possible. Fuel is a limited resource for most satellites, and once it runs out, the satellite becomes just another piece of junk in orbit. Now, with the rapid expansion of satellite constellations like SpaceX's Starlink, thousands of satellites working together in coordinated networks, the traffic up there is getting more congested than ever before. Managing that traffic is one of the biggest challenges of the new space age, and that's where autonomous systems are beginning to play a role. Modern satellites are increasingly being designed to detect, decide, and act on collision threats autonomously. Using onboard sensors, radar, and artificial intelligence, they can make decisions without waiting for commands from Earth. This is vital because with so many satellites in motion, delays of even a few seconds can be the difference between a near miss and a destructive crash. But satellites also face other risks, like solar radiation. Bursts of energy from the sun, known as solar flares or coronal mass ejections, can damage electronics, interfere with signals, and alter orbits. That's why many satellites are built with radiation-hardened components and shielding. Operators also monitor solar activity closely so they can put satellites into safe mode during intense solar storms. You might wonder, what happens when a satellite reaches the end of its life? If it's in low Earth orbit, it can be intentionally deorbited, guided down to burn up safely over remote areas like the South Pacific. If it's in geostationary orbit, where it takes much more energy to come back down, it's usually moved into a graveyard orbit, a quiet, unused space higher up, where it won't interfere with working satellites. There are also growing calls for satellites to be designed for end-of-life disposal from the start. Some concepts include satellites with onboard deorbit sails that unfold and drag the satellite down over time, or even magnetic tethers that interact with Earth's magnetic field to slow the satellite gradually. In the future, we may even see active debris removal missions, robots designed to grab or push dead satellites out of orbit. Companies are already testing spacecraft capable of docking with defunct satellites to either repair or safely deorbit them. Ultimately, keeping satellites in orbit and out of trouble is a constant dance of precision, planning, and engineering brilliance. Every satellite is a flying computer, surviving in one of the harshest environments imaginable, space, while moving faster than a bullet and performing mission-critical tasks 24/7. The fact that most of us never think about this invisible ballet just shows how well it works. GPS, weather forecasts, global communication, internet, live television, all of it depends on these silent orbiters. And they rely on the delicate art of orbital mechanics to stay in motion and out of danger. So next time you check your location on your phone or watch a live satellite feed of a hurricane, take a moment to appreciate the immense coordination, calculation, and innovation that keeps those satellites exactly where they need to be, hovering, tracking, and transmitting, all while dodging disaster. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new or found this video fascinating, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps support the channel. And if you're passionate about science, space, and the engineering marvels that make our modern world work, be sure to subscribe. We've got more incredible stories coming, so turn on notifications and stay tuned. Until next time, keep your curiosity in orbit and keep looking up.